What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Driven by Brian. Today's video, as the caption reads, is POV driving impressions. Some few things I want to talk about too. I have a full list of things to go through. I'm already in the car, did not get the cold start. It's whatever. We're in Fresh Meadows. About to head to Cunningham to look over the car a little bit. You know, I had some ideas planned out. I'm not like these great YouTubers. I'm gonna forget, so I wrote it down. You know, typical 6 o'clock, just got off work, do work a corporate job, 9 to 5, 9 to 5:30, 9 to 6, you name it. Now we're free, so I was like, you know what, let's make a video. It's a little dark, but forget it, let's have some fun. So if you guys don't know, this is a 2020 BMW X3 M40, the G01. It is close to fully spec'd. I think it has all of the optional packages except for a few add-ons. For example, rear heated seats, don't have that. Don't have Harman Kardon. So it's missing a few things like that, but it does have the Driver Assist Pro. You can see right here, it has Executive, the heads-up display, and the connected driver assist or connected drive, where you see the map in the cluster. And just going through the car interior, it does have the ambient lighting, carbon fiber package. I am running a Uniden R8 with a mirror tap connection. Links to both of those products are on my link tree if you guys are interested, or if you guys want to see a video of how I installed it, we can do that too. Currently, I am in, no one talks about this, but I'm in the lowest seating position on the driver's seat. Coming from a sedan, I just like being a little bit lower, so I put it at the lowest driving position, even though it's kind of like backwards thinking. If you got an SUV, you want to be higher up, whatever. And steering wheel position is at a point where right in the middle of the wheel, I can fully see the cluster. I see all the information, all my gauges, even the street number at the bottom. So if you guys are ever curious of, oh, what is that? If you guys are ever curious about where your steering wheel position should be, that is it. Just starting off, another thing that nobody really talks about is all these buttons. You know, obviously you have the turning signals, high beams, but how do I change this part on the right side? You guys can't see it, but it's called BC on the left steering column signaling. We'll stop here at the red light so I can talk through it. So by pressing it, we can cycle through our mileage. I guess this is like sport display showing your horsepower, torque, if you were connected to a device, and just nothing. I personally like to have it showing the miles per gallon. Honestly, I'm just curious like that. If I'm cruising on the highway at 50, am I getting, 33 miles per gallon? Am I getting 40? Am I getting lower? Or when you step on it, you definitely get to see what your mile per gallon is. Currently, I'm at 23.7. When I got the car and I drove up from Maryland, it was an average of 26 through mostly highway driving, but there was a lot of stop and go traffic too coming back through New Jersey. But now I'm doing a lot of local driving, just going to the grocery store, going to play tennis, quick 10-15 minute drive. So I haven't been getting that mileage up. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is why did I choose a BMW? I came from a Honda 2017 Honda Accord Sport Special Edition. Great first car. Got it sophomore year of sophomore year of college, and I had it all throughout college. And I just graduated, so this is my upgrade. For me, I wanted a car that was luxury and had a little bit of power. Compared with Audi, I guess that criteria more or less settles through with Audi, but with Mercedes, it's definitely more of a luxurious vehicle. And honestly, there's not a lot of knowledge on being like a self-repairman and just fixing and doing everything yourself, versus BMW and Audi. The communities are a little bit better in that sense. And I guess that kind of translates to why I chose the B58. The B58 is known for its easy performance gains. I don't need to be a race car driver with 600, 700 horsepower. 400 wheel or 500 to the crank would be like a perfect spot for me. So B58, you know, with a few bolt-ons, that's literally what it's meant for. It's more or less reliable or easy to work on, I guess, if you're willing to do it. There's this guy named Kevin. He's another YouTuber, Kern, Kern 417. He's one of the top B58 BMW researchers and most knowledgeable people out on YouTube. He drops a lot of informative educational videos about the platform. His two builds right now are a big turbo 440, and he's about to upgrade his 340 as well. So watching that, did a lot of my research, not even just before I had the car, actually did a lot of research on what the platform is about and him just talking about it. And honestly, it's, you know, like everybody says, it's decently reliable. You don't see too many of these engines blow up, and that's a big reason why I chose BMW in the B58 platform. Another question that I kind of encountered was, do I choose a M340, the sedan, or the SUV? And while we're stopped, it's perfect. And for me, looking back, you know, the SUV is definitely a little bit bigger. It has a little bit more space. Well, it does have a little bit more space. It's comfortable to sit in. While I'm back here, I am 5'8", you know, you're looking up, I have a few inches. There's also a few inches in front. Legs spread out, you can comfortably fit two. If you want to put a little kid or a small adult in the middle, you can. It's very comfortable. The seats do recline back further if you wanted to, and they also do a 40-20-40 split, so each seat can be put down individually. If you guys don't know how to do it, this middle seat right here comes down. The only thing is there's a little bar right here, so you can't put this seat down individually. Also, trunk space. Honestly, the M340 trunk space is pretty big, bigger than I expected, but you know, the X3 is obviously going to be slightly bigger than that. Good security right here too. And my final decision between the 2020 and the 2021 was looking at it and if I wanted to tune it. So if I wanted to tune the car, then the 2021 would be a lot more expensive because you have to pay for the Fentmo unlock. All DMEs after, I think, like June 2020, something like that, they're a little bit more difficult to unlock, so you have to pay an extra 300 bucks. So that's why I went with a 2020. And also, you know, being a recent college grad, I just want to be realistic with myself as well. I can't really afford a X5, which is, you know, a bigger car, or even the fully M models, the X3 M, the M3, M4. It's not really realistic for someone like me that I just started working. I still live at home. Even though I could afford it, it's not really the smartest financial decision, you know. They will also come with higher insurance, higher gas or lower gas mileage, higher gas costs, and so on. And that's kind of why I went with an SUV as well, because there's a lot of kids with an M340, and what they're doing is they're just getting speeding tickets, they're crashing, and all of that. So it's, you know, insurance is all about risk, if you guys know or don't know. So having a car with really high risk from your current profile of drivers, and me, I'm a male under 25, that's could be super high. Right now I'm paying just under $4,000 a year in insurance costs, which is pretty high, you know. It's definitely not something to just like pay and get away with. Unless you have that type of money, then go for it. Go for an M3, go for an M4, but that's not me. And honestly, that's not going to be a lot of us. So just be realistic with your financial obligations. Now, driving impressions. We drove a little bit here. Honestly, on first startup, it's definitely a little jerky. The 8-speed is not that great at low speeds, especially if it's warming up. And if you guys notice, when you go on test drives, that when you first put it into gear and you want to just go, the car's RPM will jerk. It'll fluctuate a lot. And what I've realized is, as the system is warming up, the first time you put it into drive, the first gear always wants to hit 2000 RPM. So if you guys are ever test driving and you're only giving a little bit of gas and you see the RPMs go like this, it's just a mechanism of it warming up. But just be aware, if you do have your own X3 M40 or X4 M40, that you should probably give it a little bit more gas in the first 30 seconds in order to get all the systems and cycles going through. Comfort has really been up there. The leather is good. The seat is supportive, you know, coming from a Honda. It's not as comfortable. I rode in a SQ8 S-Line SQ8 S-Line. That was more comfortable. I think Audi and Mercedes is a little bit softer, but BMW, I think the X3 is definitely meant to be more of a firmer platform, especially the M40. So I really don't mind it. Being a young adult, I fit into the seat perfectly. The bolster actually widens as well, which is great. Already talked about gas mileage. Usability is great as well. I coach tennis, so sometimes I'm hauling like the hoppers of balls and just bringing around a lot of tennis rackets. So it's great to just throw everything in the trunk and be easily able to take it out, versus the Accord I had to, you know, dig into the trunk, really stuff everything in to make sure it fits. I already touched on this a little bit, but the next topic I had is advice to younger audience. Financials for initial cost. So I'm fortunate enough to pay this car out in full. I paid it cash. Interest rates were too high for my family and I to want to take a loan on it, so we paid it cash. Grateful for my family to be able to help with that, and I'm working towards paying back my family. So I didn't fork out $40,000 straight. The car was at post-tax like $42,000, but a good amount I covered just by, I am 22 right now. Been working since I was 14. I've had, you know, the typical summer jobs, and my parents taught me, well, I'm also fortunate enough not to need to have spent any of that on school and whatnot. So I was able to save every penny. I learned a little bit about the stock market. I think my total account is up by like 30 or 40% because of COVID. That UPS truck definitely scared me. So I got a good bump there. So that has helped me a lot as well. And you know, gas is like half a tank every 2 weeks because I really only drive on the weekends. And I don't really have to worry about that now that I'm working, but you know, just keep in mind the cost to a younger audience. My future plans with the car is to go stage 2, which is so typical. Everybody does it, you know, downpipe an email. Doubt40i on Instagram, he makes some really funny content. Follow him as well. But downpipe, I really want to go for a MAD, Mastery of Art and Design. It's a 200 cell downpipe, or Active Auto Work, which is a 400 cell. So the 400 cell is a little bit better for emissions, and you don't need a tune on that. It won't give you a check engine light. Anything under 400 cell will give you a check engine light. So 400 cell is also what they put in the factory downpipe, so that's why it doesn't cause a check engine light. And as for tuning platform, I'm still doing my research. You know, BMW MHD, I think there's a new one now, like EcuTech. Pretty sure they're all like kind of the same thing. They all can work off a phone now. So it's really just up to preference and what you want to get. As for supporting mods, I reached out to PQ Performance in California, and I watched a lot of Fresh Kicks videos, and that's his shop, and they recommend doing some supporting mods. Cold air intake, I also plan on getting it from Mad, which is like half the price of a MST intake. So I would definitely recommend looking at Mad. All the reviews for their products look great, and they're a newer company, so products are a little cheaper. And the final one was a aluminum charge pipe. A lot of people go with CTS turbo, but I did also ask Kevin Kern 417, and he said only a downpipe and a tune is needed. No supporting mods are needed if we're just speaking strictly on power. And I did ask towards reliability too, and he said it's not really needed. You could get it, but it's not needed. So take what you will from that. I'm definitely not an expert, so do your own research. And I guess in the last 3,000 miles of owning this car, it's truly been a blast. It's fun to drive every day. Maybe I'll put a clip of a pull that I did, and it's definitely an upgrade for me. 9 out of 10. Not 10 out of 10 because, you know, every BMW driver's dream car is a Porsche, right? So 10 out of 10 will be the Porsche. All right, I think that's it. Let's do a little bit of a closing right now. You see the beautiful ambient lighting. It's great. As I'm getting out, you can see the lights on the floor as well. Let's do a little walk around. At the spot right here, if you know, you know. Oh, and I also have Tuxmax. I have WeatherTech in my other car, Tuxmax in this. Tuxmat is the way to go. If you guys want to see a clip of that, let me know. Maybe I'll just drop it in my Instagram because that's easier. No need to make a full video on it. But yeah, that's it. Shout out to Uniden, always keeping me in check. Shout out to the car. It's been great. Hopefully no issues in the future. Will be nice and smooth to get to stage 2 and after that, and hold on to the car for like the next 5 to 6 years. So thanks everyone. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments. You heard? All right, see you guys next time. Peace.